Jey Meka's channel. Jey Meka's channel. Jey Meka's channel. Jey Meka's channel.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Jay.
I'm Meka.
And we're doing Big Brother episode 33. This is the penultimate episode to the finale. And 2 head of households and 1 veto. So, so leading up to this is right after Lauren got booted, essentially. She got kicked out. It was her versus Keanu, and she got kicked out. And then we went from there to the head of household competition. No, we had the Blockbuster. What was the BB Blockbuster again?
I thought it was Lauren.
It was Lauren. Lauren got sent home.
Lauren won the BB Blockbuster, and she still ended up getting sent home. I remember that. 2-hour episodes are hard. Vince was head of
household. And he put up, because Morgan got the head of the household when...
Who went home first? Shit, this would be so difficult. What episode is this?
33. No, Lauren went home this episode, because they had the BB Blockbuster.
Right, Lauren was...
All right, so this episode, we get the fallout. So Lauren is on the block, Keanu's on the block, and Kelly is on the block. And so they have the BB Blockbuster, and Lauren ends up winning, pulling herself off.
Right.
Also, I don't know what the hell Keanu was doing. Like, Lauren had the perfect method for it. Keanu wanted him to win. He started doing one hand, dropping it. He was doing
that was crazy. It almost felt intentional again.
Yeah.
Production-wise, it just felt like... Because it just didn't make sense. Keanu was smarter than that. Like, I feel like if he saw it wasn't working how he was putting the ball in there the first couple times, he would have switched it. And he just kept doing the same thing.
Or just look over.
Or just look over.
But they're running back and forth, so maybe.
That is true.
But so Lauren ends up winning.
The Blockbuster, right?
All right, so we get to the BB Blockbuster because we have Keanu, Lauren, and Kelly on the block. And long story short, Lauren wins the BB Blockbuster.
Right.
Good little method she had. Keanu, don't know what the hell he was doing. But so now we have Kelly and Keanu on the block. And they're doing their little, talking to people after the fact to see if they can kind of gather some votes in a short amount of time. And what ended up happening is that they end up going home. So Kelly's gone. So now we go forward and we go to the head of household competition. And this head of household competition was kind of like a shuffleboard type thing where they have to roll the ball down to the end to get into a certain place. And Morgan, who has been a beast as of lately, won head of household. So she won 3 vetoes in a row and then won the head of household in a very, critical time frame to do. So she wins it. And of course, she wants to put Lauren up. She wants Lauren to go home, the whole 9. But Vince, let's just be honest, her man at this point is playing like a major role with it and whatnot. He's like, backstab and all this other stuff because he's willing to snake anybody for his game. So Morgan / Vince puts up Keanu, and because now BB Blockbuster is done. It's completely over. So now it's just a regular format. And we're going to talk about something after this, but going forward. So they do the veto competition, and it's a memory game where you have to find the mastermind in different photos and different pictures. Let me point out another point where Ashley is useless. The picture with the mastermind directly behind her.
And she got it wrong.
And she is so useless.
And the leading up to that, I don't know what that was about, but they were behind her. And I just want to make another comment. That game seemed way too easy.
Well, it's because
honestly,
of the time crunch.
It had to be because it was just come on now. This isn't even a challenge. You know what I'm saying? But
they've had to do something where they can kind of shoot through it.
Yeah.
And, to win the veto.
Keanu wins. He comes through.
Keanu Wick did his thing. Came through. Got the veto, pulled himself off of the block. And Lauren goes on the block. And at this point, it's Lauren and Ava.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Lauren.
Right.
So she's out of here. So now we're down to the final few, which is Keanu, Vinny, Ava, Ashley, Morgan.
Yeah.
That's what we have. That's our final 5. Going into this finale this weekend on Sunday. So that's where we're at now. I want to talk about something really quickly. This season, I used to watch Big Brother a lot back in the day. The production value, the quality of this show, if it wasn't for Morgan and Vince and their little thing, and if they did not bring Rachel in, which even lends more to me thinking she was brought in just to help the production of this show,
right,
it would be trash. They don't have good competition anymore. They don't have food competitions, stuff where they can get drinks and libations or whatnot. Zingbot came for a half a second, was out of here. They don't have, where you can get the extra powers. Yeah, they had it a little bit, but not really. this game used to be so much more impactful, so much more fun, so much more intriguing. It's very trash now. I have not seen, full competitions with slop and all this other stuff. The games are very lame for the most part. Now, they're not all bad. I don't want to say they're all bad. If you watched Big Brother over the years, it was a lot better. The only thing that kept me intrigued with this was always hoping something would come of something, and it just really didn't.
Yeah. Like you said, the earning the powers thing, I noticed, and I remember in the beginning, we both said, well, you said it, that they were throwing off like in the first 2 episodes, and then you didn't see it anymore.
They gained money and power, like $10,000 here.
Yeah. And I would like to speak as a first-time viewer of the show. Like, it just felt very contrived. It felt like a big production. It felt very fake to me. Like, it didn't seem like, and even it just felt like they threw a bunch of ideas up against the wall and was like, whatever will stick. It didn't really, the hotel.
White local.
Well, no, the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. The theme of it, they didn't develop that enough. Then the White Lotus. I thought that was going to be like a month of that where they would continuously go in the White Lotus resort and, do challenges there. That didn't happen. And then you mentioned something about the jury house. He kept talking to me about this jury house. And again, this is my first time really watching Big Brother like that. And so, they're calling it a jury house, but where's the house? We're not seeing that.
The jury house played a role. You got to see them go and interact and watch people do stuff. Those challenges, as small as it is, yeah, the competition's weekly for slop. If these groups, the have and have not competitions.
Yeah.
They have not had those. They had a have and have not when they first got there. In the room where they had the little body shapes.
Yeah, nobody's ever in that room. They're always in the head of household.
To be perfectly honest, it's a bunch of half-ass concepts.
It is.
And they're more focused on other things, which really destroys the value of the show to me. Yeah, Rachel was cool. She didn't do anything in which, like I said, she was here and whatever. I'm rambling, but you get the point. So, but that's where we're at. Well, because the thing is,
I wanted to say something else too, like about Lauren. Like, I felt like Lauren was in the show so long. I kind of was mad they didn't give her like little send-off stuff, either little small stuff like that. You said they ran out of time, like they didn't have time to do that, and it was just like everybody else got a video to say goodbye. There was no video.
Well, that has happened before, though.
That was just weird.
That's happened before,
but that was the first time.
Well, it's because the only time that they did a back-to-back like that.
I guess. I just felt like again it was just rushed.
Yeah,
it just felt very so.
That's why the numbers are offset the way they are, because they did that whole thing with Rachel, which it almost feels like that was the last second thing.
Yeah.
Them bringing Rachel in. So, But hey, whatever. We get the finale tomorrow, so we will have a review, and I'm probably going to go a little bit more into this after we see what happens. And I swear on everything I love, if Ashley wins,
I'm going to lose.
I won't do this. Will be the first and only time I do this show if Ashley wins. So. But until then,
you mean
we'll
the
see
last
you for
time you do the show.
Well, the first and last time. But I'm Jay.
And I'm Meka.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you for the Big Brother finale.
Yep, and hit the notification bell.
There you go. See you. Bye. Hey, what's up, y'all? Jay here. So I'm about to do the recap for Big Brother Season 27, Episode 35. And I'm combining this with 33 simply because didn't a lot go on this episode. Now that we're down to the last 5 and they're kind of stretching these episodes out a little bit, figured I could combine them both together, kind of going forward and whatnot. So in this episode, we had the mastermind. He popped up saying that, there's going to be, he's getting ready to get into his shenanigans or whatnot. They told us that there's going to be a double eviction coming up. So what they did on this episode was they did the head of household episode. Essentially what they had was they had a fencing sword or, whatever you want to call it. And they had a picture of the mastermind and they had to pin it against this kind of barrier type thing. And they had to hold it there, and they just had to keep it in place so that it wouldn't fall. A competition of endurance, essentially. So they did that, and, people get to fall. Now, I believe Ava was first, and Ashley, and then it came down to New and Vinny. So they're sitting there, and Keanu's trying to kind of negotiate with Vince and whatnot. But Vince is trying to win one to keep himself safe. He's at the point to where now you have to, have your own best interests in mind. But also, of course, he's trying to keep Morgan safe. That's his big thing, especially now that Lauren is gone. So whilst Keanu was trying to negotiate with him or whatnot, he ends up losing the competition by letting his, the face that he had pinned against it fall. So now Vinny for the 4th time head of household. So he ends up winning head of household. So now, of course, he has to pick who to nominate. And this episode essentially was just all about people trying to, it's more of a social game episode, trying to figure out who, Vinny was going to put up. And everybody was kind of, Vinny has a final 2 with Keanu. Of course, he has a final 2 with Morgan. He's trying to be cool with Ava. Then he has the judges with Morgan and Ashley. And him playing the social game, at first it seemed very detrimental, but now he has options in so many ways to where if he does things right, it will get him to the final 2 potentially. Because let's be honest, Morgan's not going to turn on him. So if he can make sure, and now it makes sense as to why he's keeping Morgan around, because if he can get Morgan there, Morgan will keep him there. So it makes a ton of sense over Ashley, over Ava, over Keanu. So Keanu's really trying to, maneuver like, hey, put Ashley or put Ashley and Ava up or put Morgan up. Actually, there was more targeting Morgan and everybody's kind of like, hey, Morgan's the big player to get out. Vinny's not doing that. He kind of romanticized the idea slightly for a second because he's not going to win against Morgan up there because Morgan actually has enough competition wins and whatnot to keep her, side by side, and he's done enough snakish type things where he'll be out of there. But, Keanu's like, hey, man, kept you around, this and that and other. But Keanu did kind of make that one game move where he put Vinny up to teach him a lesson, and Vinny held that. You could tell that he's holding on to that. He felt a way about that. So ultimately, Vinny ends up putting Keanu and Ava up. And I believe Ava even talked to Vinny a little bit and kind of, Ava's a little, she's a little conniving, she's a little sneaky. She knows how to say things at the right time to kind of keep herself out of harm's way. And even if she's up against somebody to where she will not be the perceived threat. So anyway, Keanu and Ava go up. So then that was pretty much the episode. It wasn't much, now we're going to get the veto and then we'll get the subsequent eviction. But they did say there will be a double eviction. Now, they could throw some sort of little, a little bit of a crook in here or something like that. And I do see, and it's been talked about online, where the mastermind could actually take over the nominations actually, so that Keanu or Ava could come off and, kind of manipulate things in the game, which would be actually pretty cool. I would like to see that. Because I personally do not want to see Keanu, or as I call him, Keanu Wick, go home because he has been keeping himself alive as Morgan has also. So that would be pretty cool. So we'll see what happens. That's pretty much where we're at. We get the next episode tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Also tomorrow we get the premiere of Survivor season 49. So we're going to get Survivor and Big Brother back to back. So that's going to be pretty interesting, pretty cool because we will be doing Survivor. But that's all that happened this episode. It wasn't the best. It was pretty boring, but we're getting to the point to where now it's the social and kind of seeing the moving. I still am hoping to see Ashley go home. I hope the mastermind comes in and does something to send Ashley home and just get her up out of here. I'm tired of her. I'm over her. I think her game has been completely in her trash, and she epitomizes a floater. She only won one competition. I believe it was the very first one. Other than that, she's done nothing. She's just been floating and hanging on to other people's coattails the entire time. The other ones, I'm okay with any of them winning. I'm okay if Ava wins because she has done enough social aspects to win the game. Morgan has done both, even though she, the whole thing with her and Vinny, and she's kept it entertaining. Vince has, regardless of what you call it, he's been a snake. I personally say that all the time. I'd rather him not win, but he has worked the game. He's probably been the most active, him and Keanu, as far as staying alive in this game. So the only one I don't want to see win is Ashley. She's garbage to me. Treated ash. So, but that's what happened on this episode 35. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, we just got pretty much Vinny as the head of household, and we got Ava, and we have Keanu, who were put on the block. So we're going to see what happens on Wednesday. But hey, that's my recap of this episode. Hopefully I'll have more with the next episode to talk about, which is why, like I said, why I combine these two. So give us a like, comment, subscribe, hop in the comments, let us talk about this stuff. Like I said, Survivor's going to be coming up. So not only will you get Big Brother next time, but you're also going to get the initial Survivor recap for that episode 1, season 49. So I'm Jay for Jey and Meka channel. See you later.